"You shouldn't go tonight," she said it casually, adjusting her hair in the mirror. Olivia didn't look at me. I replied simply, "Okay." That single word would pivot my life. My name is Nathan Cole. For nearly 7 years, I was not a boyfriend or partner. I was a system. People could be excitement, inspiration, noise. I was schedules, bills, backups, contingency plans. I believed love meant carrying enough weight for someone else to feel free, and I carried it silently, meticulously handling rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, subscriptions, bills, laptop failures, car leases, and daily logistics. Every task was invisible but essential. Every crisis averted through my planning while she thrived in creativity. I thought this was love, but it was unseen labor. Olivia Hart, ambitious, restless, stylish. She left corporate communications at 29 to become a digital storytelling consultant. I supported her fully, covering all expenses while she built her independent projects. Her laptop failed. I replaced it immediately. Car lease ended. I biked to work myself, even in winter. My life became the foundation of her freedom while I remained unnoticed. Then Lucas Reed appeared, charismatic, confident, casual. He met Olivia at a seminar and quickly integrated into our routines. Texts late at night, coffee meetups, he intruded subtly. Hands brushed hers. He whispered under the guise of collaboration. Olivia's laughter brightened, attention shifted. I cataloged every gesture, every glance, every moment without confrontation or argument. Weeks passed. Invitations I once attended vanished. Opinions once considered were dismissed. Comparisons slipped casually. "Nathan, why do you overthink that?" Lucas just rolls with it. That simple line revealed my irrelevance. My labor unnoticed, my presence unnecessary. I began preparing quietly. Opening a separate account, redirecting salary, leasing a one-bedroom apartment overlooking the river. Private, quiet, mine. I maintained appearances outwardly while disentangling myself inwardly. Returning home after 11 exhausting hours managing a security breach, I found them sharing a bottle of whiskey I'd been saving. Olivia smiled at Lucas. "We're just brainstorming," she said. Lucas leaned in. Creativity doesn't wait for working hours. I stood silent, observing the obsolescence pressing around me. I did not argue. I did not cry. I only measured and prepared. The apartment that once carried traces of our shared life felt hollow, transient. Every day I refined my routines. Morning coffee, runs along the river, focused work, meals, organized apartment. Each act reinforced autonomy, building a fortress of self-reliance. Meanwhile, Olivia's world began to shift subtly. Clients missed deadlines, minor debts went unpaid, and she struggled to manage logistics I had always taken for granted. Small mistakes accumulated. Emails lost, bills late, meetings forgotten. I observed without interference, taking notes, cataloging patterns. Lucas's influence became clearer. He thrived on charm but avoided responsibility. At times, I left subtle organizational cues, a bill reminder, an updated schedule, a draft contract, watching whether Olivia would follow through. Many times, she failed. Each failure highlighted how reliant she had been on the invisible system I maintained. I began incorporating my own routines into deliberate experiments, testing her reactions to absent guidance, noting how quickly chaos surfaced, recording interactions with clients, how minor mishaps compounded into larger consequences. Simultaneously, I nurtured my autonomy. New running paths, quiet cafes, extended work projects, solo dinners, strategic networking. Independence was no longer passive, it was crafted. I observed Lucas, charm masking laziness, insight masking ignorance, spontaneity masking irresponsibility. My silent records demonstrated the fragility of her ecosystem built atop borrowed labor. Weeks later, Olivia faced a minor professional setback, a missed deadline leading to client dissatisfaction. She attempted improvisation, panicked solutions, Yet the foundation I once provided was absent. I did not intervene. The subtle cascade continued. Emails unanswered, late payments, delayed deliverables. Each consequence reinforced the lesson that unseen labor holds worlds together. I experimented with gentle nudges, text reminders, neutral check-ins, neutral updates, but avoided enabling her. My own life remained structured, flourishing. Projects completed on schedule, professional recognition growing. I ran along the river, observed the city, brewed coffee, tracked expenses meticulously. Each act reinforced autonomy, each ritual a quiet assertion of control. I documented patterns, how charm fails without structure, spontaneity collapses without planning, creativity flounders without support. Months passed. Olivia began noticing the gaps in her formerly seamless life. Minor frustrations accumulated, delayed payments, mismanaged schedules, forgotten contacts. Lucas's presence proved ineffectual under real pressure. She experienced anxiety, stress, isolation, all filtered through absence rather than confrontation. Meanwhile, my routines remained deliberate and uninterrupted. Work flowed smoothly, promotions followed, friendships strengthened, health improved. Freedom was tangible, stability concrete. Observing from a distance, I understood fully. Being a foundation does not obligate perpetual support. Sometimes, stepping back is the strongest act, allowing consequence to teach lessons unlearned through indulgence. Silence, deliberate absence, enforced accountability. Each ritual, each decision, reinforced self-respect and clarity. The city pulsed below, indifferent. I existed above its chaos, untethered, deliberate, awake. As Olivia's independence faltered, I continued refining my own life. Mornings began with deliberate coffee, runs along the river, organized work, focused projects, and intentional meals. Each ritual reinforced autonomy, every action a quiet assertion of control. I documented patterns of failure around her, noting how quickly small oversights escalated into chaos. Freelance projects stalled under her own improvisation. Minor deadlines missed, emails unanswered, client relations strained. Lucas, once a charming presence, vanished whenever responsibility was required. The absence of the system I had silently maintained revealed the fragility of her world. I did not intervene, observing instead. Her stress increased, reflected in exhausted eyes and distracted movements. At times, she attempted improvisation, rescheduling, promises, appeals for extensions. But the structure she relied upon was gone. Each failed attempt emphasized lessons she had ignored for years. Meanwhile, my life grew deliberate. I pursued side projects, strategic professional connections, and personal goals neglected previously. Coffee breaks became reflective moments, runs opportunities to plan new routines, meals a meditation on deliberate living. I experimented with controlled variables, adjusting minor habits, observing outcomes, refining processes. Olivia faced mounting consequences. Missed invoices triggered late fees, minor debts compounded, equipment breakdowns disrupted deliverables. She attempted to sell assets to manage cash flow, designer items, camera gear, furniture, but scams, delays, and cancellations multiplied. Lucas's absence underscored his reliance on charm alone, revealing her dependence on my invisible labor. At times, she tried to reach out indirectly. Her mother called, friends sent veiled requests for assistance, emails flooded in with apologies, explanations, and promises to repay. I did not respond. Boundaries had become survival, not cruelty. Engagement would compromise clarity and autonomy. Observing quietly, I noted how patterns of chaos expanded when reliable support disappeared. Every action she failed to take magnified consequences, demonstrating the necessity of structure, planning, and accountability. I cultivated new skills, advanced project management, negotiation, strategic problem-solving, while maintaining deliberate routines. Work advanced without interruption, deadlines met, Professional recognition grew. Meals, sleep, exercise, tidying, planning, all rituals reinforced autonomy, reconstructed stability, and preserved energy. Months passed. Olivia eventually relocated to a shared boarding house outside the city. Freelance campaigns tied to Lucas's fraudulent collaborations collapsed. Clients, brands, investors disappeared. Her network, once supported invisibly, disintegrated. Attempts to reach me persisted. Pleas, apologies, promises, but I remained silent. Engagement would have breached the boundaries maintaining my clarity. Each unheeded request reaffirmed the lessons of absence. I expanded personal projects, new programming initiatives, creative side work, mentorship opportunities, while maintaining structured routines. Observing the contrast, I noted how freedom grows from deliberate structure, while chaos emerges from reliance on charm and borrowed labor. Olivia attempted improvisation under pressure, negotiating with clients, managing overdue bills, reorganizing schedules. But the absence of accountability revealed gaps in her skill set. Each small failure accumulated. I observed patterns meticulously: delayed responses, missed communications, reactive problem solving. Meanwhile, my life flourished. Projects completed, deadlines met, promotions achieved. Social connections nurtured, personal growth accelerated. Daily rituals, morning coffee, river runs, organized meals, tidying, planning, reinforced stability, autonomy, and deliberate living. Freedom became tangible. Olivia faced mounting challenges. Lucas, who had thrived on charm, remained absent. Professional setbacks continued. Campaigns failed, opportunities vanished, networks dissolved. She experienced isolation, anxiety, and the realization that structure, responsibility, and planning cannot be substituted. I observed silently, recording patterns and outcomes. My energy remained preserved, focus intact. Absence had replaced intervention, allowing lessons to emerge unmediated. Minor interventions, subtle reminders, neutral cues, did not alter the trajectory of consequence. Silence enforced accountability. Over months, the contrast sharpened. My life, structured, predictable, productive. Olivia's life, reactive, chaotic, consumed by urgent crises. Bankruptcy threats, failed sales, missed opportunities, abandoned networks, each consequence a direct reflection of absent structure. I refined personal routines further. Advanced planning, deliberate scheduling, focused work, reflective meditation, strategic professional development. Each day reconstructed autonomy, clarified purpose, reinforced control. The city pulsed below, indifferent. Freedom and peace were intentional, tangible, unshakable. Occasionally, attempts from Olivia appeared, indirect messages, intermediaries, veiled requests. But I remained silent. Boundaries preserved, autonomy maintained, lessons reinforced. Absence, deliberate and controlled, proved more instructive than confrontation ever could. By the end of this period, patterns were clear. Support without acknowledgement invites exploitation. Structure and planning cultivate independence. Charm and spontaneity fail without foundation. Observing the results, I internalized the full lesson. Freedom is built deliberately, stability earned through consistent conscious action. Silence maintained, boundaries enforced, consequences observed. My life, structured, deliberate, autonomous, became a testament to the power of invisible systems, disciplined routines, and measured absence as a force of accountability. Months passed, and my life continued with deliberate routines. Mornings began with coffee, runs along the river, organized work, deliberate meals, and uninterrupted sleep. Each ritual reinforced autonomy and control, every action a marker of regained clarity and stability. Projects advanced efficiently, deadlines consistently met, professional recognition grew, friendships strengthened, and personal goals achieved. I observed patterns of consequence in Olivia's life from a distance. Temporary apartments, short-term rentals, and friends' couches became the backdrop of her existence. Freelance projects, once presented as successes, unraveled under pressure. Clients questioned her credibility, campaigns stalled, communications went unanswered. Lucas had vanished entirely, leaving charm and spontaneity ineffective in the absence of structure and accountability. Olivia attempted to regain footing, rescheduling, improvising, negotiating with clients, but the foundation she had relied upon was gone. Minor setbacks compounded into crises, demonstrating the fragility of life built on borrowed labor. Occasionally, she tried indirect contact through intermediaries, emails, or messages cloaked in apologies and pleas. I did not respond. Engagement would have compromised the boundaries preserving clarity, autonomy, and energy. Each unheeded request reinforced lessons learned through absence. Meanwhile, my life flourished. Projects completed, deadlines met, promotions secured. Small daily rituals, tidying, brewing coffee, tracking tasks, focused work, reinforced control, autonomy, and deliberate living. Freedom became tangible, peace deliberate, stability embedded in every action. Observing Olivia's struggles highlighted the contrast between structure and chaos, responsibility and reliance, preparation and improvisation. Each pattern was recorded mentally, lessons internalized. Support is not obligation. Invisible labor deserves acknowledgement. Structure enables freedom, and absence teaches accountability. Weeks passed. Olivia faced escalating challenges: unpaid contractors, delayed deliverables, failed collaborations, evaporated networks. Freelance opportunities vanished. Minor financial crises magnified into broader instability. Lucas's absence underscored the difference between charm and responsibility. Attempts to manage were reactive, inconsistent, insufficient. She experienced stress, isolation, and the consequences of years of unacknowledged reliance. I continued to cultivate my autonomy, deliberate routines, and structured living. Coffee along the river, organized workspaces, strategic planning, focused projects, exercise, meals, and sleep. Every action reinforced independence, clarity, and stability. Freedom and peace became ingrained, intentional, tangible. Months later, Olivia appeared at a professional industry event, Northern Tech Leadership Awards. Investors, press, and colleagues filled the room. She was thinner, exhausted, attire ill-fitting, hair slightly disheveled, movements tense. Recognition hit her first, eyes finding mine. She whispered, "Nathan," voice trembling, explanations and apologies spilling forth. Lucas's absence and the collapse of her independent projects revealed the consequences of reliance on borrowed stability. She attempted reconciliation, reaching for understanding, pleading for a second chance. I stepped back deliberately. No anger, only distance, clarity, and control. "I cannot help you," I said calmly. Tears fell freely. She tried bargaining with memory, invoking shared experiences, trips, laughter. I reminded her, memory is not a contract. Intent does not erase impact. Actions and consequences remain independent of apology. "Do you hate me?" she asked. Hate would demand energy I no longer possessed. I felt only deliberate distance, earned and maintained. "What should I do now? Where do I go?" she pressed. I replied, "Those questions are hers alone. This was not punishment, merely unpadded reality, adult consequence." She accused me of enjoying her collapse. I did not respond. The ceremony began. My name was called. I walked onto the stage, accepting an award for systems innovation and leadership. I spoke briefly, highlighting invisible work, foundations enabling others to rise, quiet labor essential yet unrecognized. I did not scan the crowd for her. Presence was not dependent on recognition. Stability, responsibility, and focus demonstrated through action, not applause. Later, I stood on my balcony overlooking the city, lights beneath like circuits. My phone buzzed once, A blocked notification ignored. The air cool, still. Silence complete. I understood fully. Being a foundation does not obligate indefinite support. Sometimes, stepping away is the strongest measure of accountability. Absence enforces lessons, preserves autonomy, and demonstrates consequence. Olivia did not lose me over one argument, one event, or one man. She lost me because she mistook reliability for weakness, support for obligation, love for permanence. I did not leave angry. I left awake, left. Life's lessons crystallized. Support is not obligation. Stability is not weakness. Boundaries are survival. Freedom is constructed deliberately, not rescued passively. Past exists as echo only, irrelevant to present. City pulses below, indifferent. I exist above its chaos, untethered, deliberate, awake. My routines, apartment, projects, friendships, meals, runs, sleep, all deliberate, uninterrupted, reinforcing autonomy and clarity. Silence maintained, boundaries preserved. Consequences enforced through absence, lessons absorbed without interference. The strongest structures are invisible, their strength measured not by presence but by deliberate, controlled absence. Support is intentional, boundaries necessary, peace attainable through conscious choice and consistent action. I had left awake, preserved, unexploited. My life, structured, deliberate, autonomous, becomes testament to clarity, preparation, and measured presence. Stepping away proved the most powerful act of support, forcing responsibility, consequence, and growth upon those who would otherwise remain dependent. Silence settled, deliberate, unbroken. City pulsed beneath, indifferent. I remained untethered, free, awake.